So we didn't think we had to make a video this quickly, but
No.
some things have changed since our last video.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
I guess we can start with me. So, I found out yesterday that our store has its first team member with the virus. Oh, come on. Nala, always getting in the way. When I got to work, the vibe was really weird and people were a little on edge, so it immediately felt like something was a little off that day.
Yep.
And then I started hearing rumors all day long about how a team member had it, and it is of course like the rumor mill churning, people are making up things. And come to find out later on in the day, our store team leader sets us aside and reads us a prepared statement from the company saying this team member has it, they haven't worked since the 6th, the company's doing all that they can to support them, and they would be notifying people who had close contact with that team member separately. So I don't think I was one of the ones that had it. I'm assuming it was on the other side of the store, because I think our department was the last to be told. I saw the manager going around other teams before us. We're in a very secluded part of the store. We don't come into contact with a lot of the other teams.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, I don't know who it was.
They won't tell you who it was.
They won't.
Because the HIPAA laws still apply, so.
Yeah.
Which is basically the HIPAA laws are patient privacy.
Rights, yeah.
Patient privacy rights. So yeah, they'll never identify who that is.
God.
But if
She just ran after a bird.
if you did some digging,
Yeah.
you could probably figure it out. If you knew, if you were one of those associates that keeps track of the comings and goings of every other person in the store.
Yeah.
Every store's got one or two of those people. You would be able to figure out who it was. But regardless, it doesn't matter who it was. The fact of the matter is, there's a member of your team that came down with the virus. Although they took themselves out of work when? March 6th?
March 6th. So it's been
March
a couple
6th.
of weeks now.
So it's already been a couple of weeks. So if you had close contact with this person.
God dang. She wrapped herself around a fire hydrant. Look at this. Nala.
If you had close contact with this person and caught it, you would be showing symptoms by now. So
yeah, I'm not too overly worried about this particular case. You don't need to. Nope. You don't need to say hi.
Morning.
Oh God.
She just wants to play. Anyway, so you had a close call at work.
Yeah.
Probably won't be the first one.
No.
Because this thing is now spreading by wildfire. Probably since our last video. We haven't filmed one in what, 2 days?
Yeah.
Cases in the US have doubled again.
Oh, I'm sure some customers have it.
And I heard a thing on the news this morning. It took 67 or 60 something days, can't remember the exact number, for the worldwide count to reach 100,000 cases. It took like, I can't remember.
The U.S.
I think
far less than that to reach that.
No, it took like 60 something days to reach 100,000 cases. It took like 10 days to reach 200,000 cases, and it took 4 days to reach 300,000 cases worldwide. So this thing's spreading like crazy.
Exponential growth. Have you had any cases at your store yet?
So we haven't had any cases in my store. However, I believe there may be cases at other stores. because I was sitting in with a construction going on in our store. There's virtually no private offices or spaces in the store. So I was sitting in our makeshift break room, which is basically the conference room, because our break room has been made into a public space for customers to use bathrooms. And one of our HR people was in the conference room on the phone, and I overheard him talking to an associate from somewhere. I mean, the guy covers, you know, 20-25 stores, maybe even more than that. So talking to an associate on the phone about, basically it sounded like they had symptoms and were taking themselves out of work for a couple of weeks, and he was reassuring that the company was gonna, you know, take care of them and that kind of stuff. So, you know, no specifics or anything were talked about, but I just overheard a conversation that basically indicated that there's probably somebody at another store that is showing symptoms, and that they're not messing around. So but we also had another close call.
Oh my God.
That came about yesterday, and that was with Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. So we got a text.
He's still out and about.
Yeah.
Doing his installation tech job.
She's zigzagging.
I know, she is. He's still out and about visiting customers' homes, doing tech work. And
we got a text from him at some point yesterday in our family group chat. He was saying that he was servicing a customer who outright told him that she got kicked out of a store because she had something like 5 of the symptoms of coronavirus.
Yeah, she was showing symptomatic, and they kicked her out of store. We don't know any more details. Apparently he didn't push her for more details on that. For all we know, it could have been flu-like symptoms, but bottom line is, you know, a store decided that she didn't, she was unsafe for everybody in the store and the associates, so she got kicked out of the store. But he didn't say, he said he didn't think she was symptomatic at the time, so whatever it was, she must have recovered. He was still in her house for a significant amount of time, certainly long enough that if she was contagious, he was probably going to get it. So I basically, in a very blunt way, told him that the moment he got home, he was to strip all his clothes, put them straight into the washing machine, and go take a very long shower and focus on all the areas that were exposed skin. So he did that, and then he contacted his superiors, and they said, well, we don't know for sure what it is. We'll just keep an eye on him, and if he starts showing any symptoms whatsoever, that
they're gonna pull him out of work, and
yeah,
he'll quarantine himself.
Yeah. And as far as him quarantining himself, he's nice. He's used to quarantining himself because
he does it.
He does it in real life anyway. Most of his free time, if he's not out and about with his friends, he spends sitting in his room on his computer. Yeah, she's enjoying this morning walk. She's had a good night's rest, and now she's ready to go. So yeah, we've had a couple of close calls here in the last couple days.
Yeah. I thought after we filmed the last video we'd be fine for a couple of days. You know, we could set the cameras down, sort of relax, but Corona had different plans.
This thing changes.
Those were 2 pretty big updates, but otherwise nothing much has happened.
No, we have had though at my store the first slowish days in the last couple of weeks.
That's true. It has slowed down, but our home shop has not.
Well, Sunday I was there. Sunday I was at my store early in the morning to take care of a truck and orders, and I needed a couple of groceries of my own that you guys couldn't get on Saturday. So I was there super early in the morning, and we got that rush at the door. As soon as the door opened, about 100 people came in. It was very busy to start, and then I left around, I don't know, 9:30-ish, because Sunday was my day off. So I ended up leaving earlier in the day. But I got there yesterday morning, looked at the sales, and they met the sales projection, and our sales projections are they're still doing them as if we were under normal circumstances. So they're not adjusting the sales projections to anticipate the additional sales of this coronavirus. They're just doing it as normal, and then adding on the appropriate labor to basically adjust on the fly as needed. Yeah. So I looked at the sales for Sunday, and we just barely beat sales projection for Sunday, which means in terms of coronavirus panic buying, we were much slower on Sunday than any other day earlier in the week. And then yesterday, I kind of kept an eye on the store. Yesterday was our first day of senior buying from 6 to 7 a.m. and we didn't get a mad rush of people at 6 that we had been getting in all the days prior. And then at 7 we also didn't get a mad rush of people. And then yesterday, all throughout the day, I worked till about 4 o'clock.
So your senior hour wasn't super effective then?
Well, there were a lot of seniors that came in, but they didn't rush the door like everybody, you know, everybody else had been. Yeah. And it was the first one, so the word is still getting out. Not everybody knows about it yet. Thursday will be the first good test, because now the word is out. Well, we're only doing Mondays and Thursdays at our store for seniors.
Are spreading it among themselves, no pun intended.
Yeah. So, and then yesterday, throughout the day, it just felt like a normal weekday business. We were a little busier than normal, yeah, but not you know, 50% busier than normal like we had been for 2 straight weeks. So I don't know what that indicates. That either indicates that everybody who has wanted to panic buy has panic bought all their stuff, filled up their pantries, filled up their closets with all their, you know, toilet paper. Yeah. And no longer need to stock up on supplies, or they're so tired of coming in looking for the stuff and not finding it because certain items that are being panic bought are out of stock almost everywhere, constantly, that they're just giving up trying to find that stuff for now. But it is also towards the end of the month, and anybody who was already on government assistance before all this, so the Social Security people and the welfare people, they're running out of money, so until their next monthly check comes in about a week. So I think there's, you know, all three are factors.
Well, we've been kind of slow lately too.
Or there's another theory that we have is that people who have been wanting to panic buy or had panic bought are simply run out of money. They spend all their money, and now they're facing having to pay rent, having to pay their power bill, and they're realizing, oh crap, I need money for that stuff. So I guess I better stop stocking up on groceries.
Hey!
So I think all 4 of those are valid factors and reasons for all of a sudden the panic buying to stop. But bottom line is it seems like now we're just going to start getting back to some semblance of normal. Although they're saying
that, and then,
well, they say the store is going to continue being busy. Maybe not as busy as during the panic buy period, but busier than normal because there's no restaurants to go to.
Yeah.
So
people are having to cook at home.
People are having to cook at home.
Excuse you.
People are having to feed their kids at home because there's no school. So we're still going to be probably 10 to 20% busier than normal, with no restaurants and no school lunches going on right now. So there's that. So
yeah, but our store has been slower too. Our home shop service though is still busy.
We're booked a week out on ours.
Oh yeah, we're at least that. Yesterday they were lining up delivery drivers.
But I was hearing our home
in
shoppers.
An empty section.
Yeah, I was hearing our home shoppers talking, and they were saying they're having now they're having trouble with people that booked, because we're booked a week out. They booked their slot, you know, a week in advance, and then they were able to go out and get the groceries anyway themselves.
And they're canceling and returning.
And then, well, what's happening is they go and shop their order, go to call them without all the out of stocks, and the customer's saying, oh, well, I don't need that stuff anymore.
Oh.
I'm canceling my order. After they shop it, I'm like,
yeah.
I told them, I said, you guys should probably be calling the customer before you shop it to see if they still need it.
Yeah.
Since it's booked that far out. She's like, yeah, they started doing that. And then they're also getting a bunch of orders that are canceling after they shop it because
they don't have toilet paper.
The one or two items that they really need most was out of stock. So they decided, well, they're not going to come into the store to get everything else if they can't get that one or two items that they really need. So they're canceling their orders in that sense too. Yeah. So, which kind of sucks, because, you know, they're making these customers are making our associates do all this work. It takes time to shop.
It does,
for someone. I mean, it doesn't take us any less time to shop for groceries than it takes a person to shop for their own groceries.
Yeah.
And they have to do it times, you know, 50, 60, 80, whatever, however many customers that they can do in a day.
Yeah, ours are timed too, so like they're moving at a bit of a brisker pace than normal, like, the normal grocery store, like, shoppers. But at the same time, they are having to do a ton more orders each day.
Yeah.
So
they do move faster than typical customers, but it still takes time to shop these orders, and to shop 100, you know, item order, taking 45 minutes to shop it, and then the customer ends up canceling. That's just a crappy move, if you ask me. But the customer doesn't care, you know. The world revolves around them, so don't get me started complaining about unreasonable people.
An update on our store, actually, I noticed the front end has stopped taking returns, like, at all.
Yeah.
So all sales are final right now because they don't want to expose themselves to.
We're doing the same thing, and they're calling it under. They want our products to be safe. You know, customers to be confident knowing that product hasn't been tampered with, or not tampered, but been the outside of the packaging getting the virus on it. Which I read one article this morning that 17 days after the passengers left the Diamond Princess, they're still finding traces of the virus in passenger cabins. So
when people return things, our stores have to handle them and dispose of them in certain ways. So
yeah, most grocery stores have instituted a no return policy, particularly on items that.
Because handling the packaging puts team members at risk.
Right.
Getting it if you do have it.
But ours is almost a punishment for. People that have panic bought, decided they bought too much, and now want to return half of it because they figured out they don't need 192 rolls of toilet paper.
Costco's doing that too.
So they're saying, no, sorry, you own it. You bought it, you own it. We're only accepting returns on quality issues, on store-made products. So like,
we're not even doing that.
Well, we know they're not panic buying that stuff, so that's why.
Come on.
So they're only doing returns on stuff like that. They're not doing returns on something that's completely fully packaged, that they just come in, buy, stuff that we take out of a box, put on a shelf, they come in and buy it. We're not taking returns on that stuff. But stuff we prepare at the store, cakes, cooked foods, that kind of stuff, they are still taking returns on that, because people weren't panic buying that stuff. They're just buying that for dinner. And we're also not doing any rain checks on sale items.
No.
Which is kind of ticked off the couponers in the crowd. But
we've never done that.
Yeah.
I think that's all the updates I have on my store.
Yeah, that's everything we have. So I need to get some editing done because we've got several days worth of these videos that I still haven't finished editing on. So that'll be my project today, since today's my first day off fully since this whole thing started.
Yeah, what's today? Today's the
24th? Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday the 24th. I think we started filming about a week ago.
About a week ago, yeah. So it's my first full day off since we started these videos.
So some videos may be out of date when you see them, but
yeah, but I'll get them caught up.
We'll get the backlog.
Well, we believe, we don't know for sure. She's part beagle, part lab. She's roughly the size in between those.
Yeah, we got them from local ASPCA.
But she shows personality traits of both.
Yes, you do.
Yes, rescue dog.
Adopt, don't shop. But then again, can we say that? Because then you'll get an aura.
Another update. That's probably the official announcement that the Olympics are postponed for a year. Way too much traffic. People stay home. I guarantee you not all of you work at a grocery store or at a hospital. At this point in the process, if you don't work at a hospital or a grocery store or anything that's deemed a vital essential business, you don't need to be going out.
Yeah. Find some way to occupy yourself at home.
You're just lengthening the time that we have to do this.
Every day I see more and more people out.
Oh, the college students especially are just going about their life like it's no big deal. No offense, but your generation sucks.
I can't make an argument for a lot of us.
Well, the problem is it's a generation of kids that have been raised. All right, we're gonna go ahead and end it. So when we have more updates, we'll update you. Until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye.